Alright, welcome to another episode of Psoto Desperado Plays Ark Survival Ascended. Just over here in the backyard. Maybe we should do some underwater adventures. I'm still trying to get all the electronics I need. Let's see. Now that my microphone's actually working properly. So we got 361. That's not bad. Still got some poly left over from the other day. I need 500 electronics. I guess I could do it either way. I could go out and try to get some electronics. I mean, not electronics, silica pearls. Let's see. Let's turn you off as well. There we go. It's nice and quiet now. Let me see here. Oh, okay, these guys here. Okay, so I leveled him up a bit, or her up a bit. Now, I was thinking of going out and trying to level one of the sharks. I got 17. I think the 48's the one I got more recently. And let's see. Yeah. Can try to get this done. But you know what? I'm just going to go see if I can get some pearls. Yeah, I'll just go see if I can get pearls. Fuck it. Let's go see if we can get some pearls. And what I'll do... I think both these sharks already have Megalodon saddles. Okay. Just make sure they both have saddles before I take them out. Nothing worse than you throw out an animal and the fucking thing doesn't have a saddle on it. This one has one. They both have them. Okay. So I'll keep the blue one out and put this one back. That should deal with that. And I need to make a little water enclosure when I get a chance. Let's see. I should have... I'm just going to take both sharks out of this. You know, why not? Dum. That should be fine. Okay, so I was just going to put some barriers up here and turn this into a little waterway right here. Nothing special. Oh, Megalodon has a level. Oh, I got 47 levels to put in there. Wow, it's more than I thought. Bunch of weight. And the rest we'll put into melee. Because it's going to be weak. I don't want to go into a fight with anybody, but if I have to, I will. Good thing now that the fog is off, I can actually see what's down here. And the goal here is to, of course, get a bunch of those things. Pearls. Let me see. There's nothing in the area. So we're going to go ahead and start playing the video. Economy is in free fall. Economic collapse is imminent. Michael Bernardinero. Here we go.
Well, we just got the most recent jobs report, and guess what? It's not looking good. Looks like the U.S. economy and really the global economy is continuing to falter like we've been saying. And it's funny how, they try to always turn this stuff into a positive because they say, well, the economy added 142,000 jobs in August, so that was better than July. And also the unemployment went down to 4.2%, so this is fantastic. But they know that that's not true because we also just saw the June and July jobs numbers get revised down an additional 86,000 jobs, guys. So anybody who looks at this most recent jobs report from August, 142,000 jobs added, and somehow thinks that this is fantastic, just wait until the revision comes because it's going to be lower, just like all the previous jobs revisions have been. I mean, we just saw a major revision going back to the beginning of the year where it was over 800,000 jobs less than what they previously reported. So you know that the revisions are going to keep coming in and it's going to keep looking bad. So now a lot of people are wondering if at the Fed meeting next week, if there's going to be a 0.5 point rate cut instead of a 1/4 point, because this is really bad news for the labor market. And Jerome Powell even said in a recent conference that further weakening in the labor market is unwelcome and that they would be using their power to prevent it. So does that mean they're going to do a 0.5 point rate cut in the next week? We don't know. We have to wait and see. Remember what I said, guys. If they do that, that is, version 2.0 of the panic button. They didn't do the emergency rate cut when we had the big drop in the stock market in the beginning of August. That didn't happen. But what might happen is they may actually come out with this 0.5 point rate cut next week in order to try to stop the bleeding, so to speak. And of course, people at the Fed are saying, oh, it's not a big deal. The economy is not faltering. And, we might not even need to do a 0.5 point rate cut. And a lot of people are worried that if they don't do it, then they're actually going to make this situation with the jobs market a lot worse. And if you guys take a look at this chart here, you can see just how much the jobs numbers have gone down since 2022 when we had this huge injection of cash into the economy. Things have gone down tremendously since then. And the crazy thing is this number already looks bad without the revision. Imagine how bad this August number will look after it does get revised. Here's what Christopher Waller from the Fed said about all this. He goes, the data that we have received in the past 3 days indicates that the labor market is continuing to soften but not deteriorate. And this judgment is important to our upcoming decision. But he also said that a sequence of cuts would be appropriate and an accelerating pace of the cuts would also be appropriate if they determine that the labor market is deteriorating. So basically, if they do a 0.5 point rate cut at their next meeting, that means that they are significantly more worried about the labor market than they were at their previous meeting. And if they just do the 1/4 point rate cut, it could just mean they either are not worried about it or they are, but they just want to keep that on the down low because they don't want to spook everyone, including the stock market, which saw a pretty bad ending at the end of this previous week. And when we look at the private jobs reports, it actually gets even worse than that, because when you look at the ADP payroll numbers, U.S. businesses generated just 99,000 new jobs in August, which is literally the smallest increase in jobs since the beginning of 2021, guys. What was happening back in the beginning of 2021? We were still in the midst of the pandemic, okay? So we weren't seeing a whole lot of jobs being created back then. Yet things are just as bad now as they were then. That is horrible. Economists who were polled by the Wall Street Journal forecasted 140,000 job gain, and it was only 99,000, guys. What a miss. You know, almost 50% less than what these guys were predicting it would be. So that just goes to show you how out of touch with reality a lot of these economists are as well. Like, they think things are still going relatively well, but that's actually not the case. All we need now is the layoffs to continue to spike, and we'll be in a full-blown recession, guys. Nobody will be able to deny that anymore, including the politicians and all these economists, you know, because job openings have fallen so sharply that it's taking people a lot longer to find work right now. And how can we have job openings in just as bad of a situation as we saw in the middle of a pandemic? I mean, that just doesn't make any sense. If that doesn't tell you the economy's weak, I don't know what does. And right away, of course, they're saying, well, you know, because unemployment went down to 4.2% from 4.3%, then there's at least some positive news here. Well, yeah, it might have went down a little bit, but it's not like it went down that much, guys. Like, it is still much higher than it was a year ago. It's not like it dropped back down to a number in the threes. They're saying most of the new jobs were created in education, healthcare, and construction, and employment fell the most in manufacturing, information, and professional businesses. Even with the government numbers, you know, it was expected that they were going to come out with 161,000 new jobs, but it ended up only being 142,000 new jobs. So not as much of a miss as the private sector, but still was less than expected, guys. And this is before the revision. This is something that you always have to remember. This is happening before the numbers get revised down, inevitably. And then you have people out there saying, oh, don't worry, you know, don't panic about the jobs numbers. This doesn't mean that we're going to be hitting a recession. You know, things are still good. You know, we're just recovering from the pandemic still. That's like the excuse for this. That's really the only excuse they have left, is to say things like that at this point. You guys are just as well aware as I am that there's a major push to make everything go electric in the next decade or two across the globe. And one way that they're trying to do that is with renewable energy sources. And one of the most popular renewable energy sources today are solar panels. And solar panels are actually predicted to be the largest source of renewable energy starting in the 2030s. And here's the kicker. Every single solar panel needs silver in order to work. They use silver paste in every single web in every panel that turns the sunlight into power. And a lot of smart investors are already taking advantage of this and purchasing silver. You guys have known for a long time that I am a big proponent of owning physical gold and silver in order to protect your wealth. Well, that's where today's video sponsor, Noble Gold, comes in. With the silver IRA, for example, you can surf this incredible wave of growth, and it doesn't matter who sits in the White House or what Wall Street does. Solar is going to be the future of electric, and silver is the secret weapon to it. So don't let this opportunity slip through your hands. Make sure you visit my link down in the description below at bordenerogold.com, and you may get up to 10 free ounces of silver with a qualifying IRA. So make sure to use my link below, visit Noble Gold, and pick up some physical gold and silver today. Say just because the job market's slowing down doesn't mean we're in a recession. People who are in the no recession camp say just look at, you know, what happened at the beginning of August. You know, the stock market took a big hit on fears of a recession, and that didn't happen, and then things rebounded. Well, now it's starting to go back down. So what are they going to say about that? You know, it's a lot of volatility lately. Here's something funny this story says. If slowing job growth doesn't turn into mounting losses, the economy could squeak by. So I guess that's the goal, right? We just want to squeak by as an economy. You know, it's just kind of like the guy that does the bare minimum just to not get fired, right? Is that what you want to do? No, of course not. We want to have a flourishing economy where everyone is benefiting from it and doing well. So this to me suggests that even people who are bullish on the future of the economy don't believe that things are going to be very strong, even if the job market doesn't completely disintegrate. So then I ask you, what argument do you have moving forward that things are going to go well if we don't have any solid economic data to base that on? Right now, nationwide, there are 7.7 million job openings at the end of July, which is down 1.1 million since the beginning of the year, and it's also the lowest since January of 2021, guys. Back to this figure, the lowest since in the middle of the pandemic, the amount of jobs that are available. And remember, a lot of these jobs aren't actually available either. A lot of these jobs are ghost listings. Many of you have asked me to talk about this before. I actually did make a video about this a couple months back when I was in Illinois, and I covered different stories about how all these job listings are fake, and a lot of these companies are using these job listings to actually collect data on people to submit an application. They get all your data, then they can turn around and sell that data. There's no actual intention of giving you a job. It's just to get you to apply and collect all the information about you. And unfortunately, you don't even know if someone's trying to do this to you or not, especially if you're desperate, you're a job seeker trying to get hired. You're going to make as many applications as possible. But realize every time you do that, people get a hold of your personal information. A lot of these other ghost job listings are just there to make the company look good, to make it look like they're hiring, but they actually have no intention of hiring people. Something else I covered the other day is a lot of these job listings are going up, getting people to apply, and then if they feel like they get too many people applying, then they will take the listing down and then put it back up with a lower starting salary in order to get people hired at a lower pay than originally promised. So there are lots of shenanigans happening with these job openings right now. So if they're already at the lowest level since the middle of the pandemic and half of them are fake, what does that tell you? It tells you that the whole job market is based on a lie right now. And some people are saying, well, we might still have a soft landing, but it's just going to be turbulent. And there's sectors of the economy that are experiencing a recession, like housing and manufacturing, but other than that, things are going swell. And also, a lot of people who are in this position say that, well, it's fine because if we do start seeing further weakening in the labor market, then the Fed will just start rapidly cutting rates, and that's magically going to fix everything. Well, clearly people who are saying this have never looked at an unemployment chart from the past and how that correlates with Fed rate cuts, because every single time we see emergency Fed rate cuts, that also leads to a situation where unemployment skyrockets. So if unemployment's already going up too much and the job openings are weakening and the Fed starts emergency cutting rates, that's likely to just make that situation even worse. Also, according to a new KPMG survey, they say that 60% of CEOs are unwilling to make investment decisions until after the November 5th U.S. election, and that may add to the softness in the economy and in the hiring. So that shouldn't really come as a surprise to anybody that a lot of people are just waiting and hanging out to see what's going to happen with this election. A lot of companies are uncertain of their future and what's going to happen with that. So they're just like, well, we'll just wait and see. We're freezing hiring. We're getting rid of people we don't need on top of that. We're going to run lean until we see what the election holds. But one thing that they're forgetting is that no matter what happens with this next election, that the economy is still going to be facing some significant weakness. I've been going downhill and I know I got to walk back up, but I want to come down here and give you guys this. Beautiful views never get old. Now it's time to walk back up. So in the light of all this weak economic data, one of my viewers, Saul, he wrote me an email and mentioned something that I should bring up here on the channel, which I certainly will, because he says that when you talk about the economy, you have to keep in mind that we may have been in a depression actually for the past 20 years. All undercover because people don't realize it, and here's the explanation of why, which makes perfect sense if you just hear out this information. GDP growth in the United States used to average about 4% a year until the year 2000. Then it dropped and has been an average of 2% since then. So it's 2024 now, been an average of 2% for the past 24 years. This is the definition of depression, GDP growth under trend line. We calculate GDP including government borrowing and spending on non-productive things, okay? But somehow this is included in the GDP figures. Add a correction for actual inflation, and our GDP growth during the last 3 years is actually negative, which is the definition of a recession. So Saul says that I'm right, that we have been in a recession for the past 3 years, and it's time to start looking at maybe it's actually a depression, not a recession. And the only reason maybe it doesn't look like it is because of all the stimulus, guys. But the punishment for all that stimulus is all the inflation we're experiencing right now and how high the cost of living is getting for people at an unsustainable rate. It's not like all this propping up of the economy has come at no cost or for free, and only people who already own a lot of assets have been able to benefit from all this stimulus, while everyone else is getting completely ripped off and a lot poorer because of it. And you know, I covered earlier about all the shenanigans going on with the job market. Well, how about this? You're also seeing a lot of people just getting their hours cut instead of getting fired right now, which almost hurts just as bad because people have bills to pay, and if they're not getting enough hours at their primary job, they may be forced to go and seek out a second job. One of my viewers wrote me, she's a nurse at a hospital here in Sacramento, and it's a non-profit hospital. Remember that for later in the story, okay? As a full-time employee, and 8-hour shifts are in her contract. This year, the company stated that it has been implementing patient-staff ratios. So the nursing floor doesn't have enough patients, at least 10 patients per one certified nurse, then management sends you home. So she's showing up to work for 4 hours, sometimes 6 hours, sometimes they even send her home at 7 hours. Not being able to fulfill her 40-hour work week has been difficult because she has expenses and bills to pay just like everybody else. She says complaints have been made with her union, nothing's being done about it, and these nonprofit hospitals are being run as businesses. Not only is this hurting her livelihood, but it's basically a sneaky way of making the employment numbers also look good. We're not firing people, we're just giving them less hours and paying them less, making their lives more difficult. They're not getting paid as much at a time when they need more money more than ever. So she asked me to share this here on the channel, as I just did. You're also seeing a lot of the same tactics happen with the fast food places that are now required here in California to pay $20 an hour. I discussed this maybe a month ago. A lot of these restaurants are just choosing to give people less hours. You even have owners of these franchises picking up some shifts from their employees so they don't have to pay those extra hours. They're not firing people in a lot of cases. They're just giving them less hours. And to just show you how bad the jobs market is doing right now, last month, U.S. employers let go of more than 75,000 employees. That's a 193% increase just from the 1 month before, guys. So the amount of people who are losing jobs right now is literally skyrocketing. So it's interesting that these unemployment figures actually went down 0.1 of a percentage point at a time when this many people are losing jobs. And the education sector is actually getting hit pretty hard by this as well. Education jobs got cut by 25,400 jobs from the beginning of the year through August. That's up 222% from the previous year. You also have a ton of tech layoffs right now, and all these people are losing jobs at a time when it's really tough to find a new job because we already talked about how many openings there are that are going down to pandemic levels of job openings. Half of those job openings are fake to keep up appearances for the company or to harvest your data. So where does that leave the average job seeker today? You know, many of you have written me emails talking about how you filled out hundreds or even thousands of applications and haven't been able to land the job that you're looking for. That is not a sign of a strong economy or a strong labor market right now. You know, sometimes people say, oh, you're exaggerating, Michael. It's not as bad as you're making it sound. Well, I'm not exaggerating at all. Maybe my tone comes off as exaggerating because I like to speak in a direct and powerful way. But I'm just giving you guys the facts. This is data that anybody can go out and look at and find for themselves. I'm not reporting anything proprietary here. I'm just reporting the facts of where things are right now in the U.S. economy. And the only difference between me and people who think things are going well when they read this data is they're trying to find loopholes to interpret this data in a positive manner. You know, trying to make it sound like it's not as bad as it really is. But when you have these job expectations being off as much as they are from the real numbers, and then the revisions coming in and bringing them down even further a month or two later, that is not good, guys. So for anybody to sit there and say that it is and try to turn around and make that a positive is trying to just, live in a make-believe world. Whenever they do eventually call this recession official, you can almost guarantee that they're going to go back and pinpoint around this time in 2024 as the official start of the recession. But hey, what do I know? I'm just exaggerating, right? Anyways, I hope people who like hearing the truth actually enjoyed this video, and if you did, please make sure you are subscribed to my channel, and if you don't want to wait for my next video to come out, check out this one on the screen right over here, and I will see you in the next one.
Ooh, it's an alpha. There's pearls there, but there's an alpha there too. Let's go up top for a bit. Shit, I'm pretty far away from home. Should have brought a bird with me. I should have put a bird with me. I could have flew back. Now I gotta fly through all this. Swim through all this shit. And it's funny, I haven't seen a bassie yet. Not one bassie. The one thing I did before I left the server is I consolidated a real strong bassie. A lot of oil down here, but that's why you have a Dunkleosaurus. The Dunkleosaurus is supposed to be able to help you harvest all these oil nodes. You never run out of oil. Never have to go out there and get oil the other way. Of course, you can just get oil from the dung beetles in reality. Ooh, it's kind of creepy down here. This is just as creepy as I remember. If you go all the way down, chances are you'll hit something you're not supposed to. And there it is. There it is, right there. There it is. There it is. There it is. Oh, shit. That's what you don't want to hit. Just get my stamina back. They're probably still pursuing. Kind of hard to see them this low in the water. The graphics are terrible. Oh, now I got a whole fleet on my ass over here. Ooh, shit. And go back home. I got some pearls. There's also pearls. The pearls over there in the cold area. I can go to the cold area and probably get some more there. Alright, let's go. Come on. Let's go back home. Look at that big Sarco. See that big Sarco there? Level 80. Well, it's not a Sarco. It's that one that's bigger than a Sarco. I don't even know if you can ride them. I think you can ride them. Yeah, let's go home and I'll play the next video. Well, matter of fact, I got a Big Ward video coming up. Let's see. Let's get Big Ward on there real quick. Oh, no. I am Richard.
Yo, what's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Rashad back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about the reason why we have to work. I'll be bringing out some scriptures today. For those of you who don't believe, it is what it is. I'm a believer, so I'm going to be talking about the Bible.
Shit.
A good deal on this channel. So
my
I have to either get used
left.
to it or find you another channel. I know some people, like I remember it's just certain people you go around and they just kind of what's the word? Disassociate themselves. Like they kind of just go, I don't know. Like I remember I was reading the Bible or talking about the Bible around some people that didn't believe in the Bible, and they just kind of go into this trance where it's like they kind of zone you out and just stop listening. It's like they can't listen. You know what I'm saying? It's like they hear the Bible and like they demons start getting triggered or something. I don't know. But I told you guys in my last video that I had to go back to Amazon due to financial reasons. You know what I'm saying? And ultimately, bro, it was just a poor decision, you know. Is Amazon the perfect job? No, but is it a job where... is it a job not worth working right now? No. You know, with my situation, bro, it's actually the perfect job right now. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm just very stubborn. You know, I don't like being wrong. But, you know, it takes a man to admit when he's wrong. And, you know, just abruptly leaving like that was wrong. It was weak. And it just made things even harder than it needed to be for me. You know what I'm saying? I know it's a lot of people my age or younger watching my videos that kind of look up to the things I do, or they're inspired by the things I do. You know, at the end of the day, we all are our own person. You're your own man or your own woman. You know what I'm saying? You're your own person. You know, so, you know, to anybody who may have quit their job due to watching my videos or this, that, and the third, you know, that's unfortunate, but I can't really be to blame for that. You know what I'm saying? If watching my video made you want to quit your job, you know, that's a sign that you're easily influenced. You know what I'm saying? You got to have a mind of your own, you know. But I know some people can be heavily influenced, especially by someone who they respect, you know. And it's just a good deal of people who respect, you know, my viewpoints and the things I speak on, you know. So some people may have been influenced to leave their job, bro. And if that's the case, that's unfortunate, bro. But and I'm sorry for leading you astray, you know, because unless you got some money saved up, or unless you have another job lined up, you have to work. And here's why. We're gonna bring out the Bible, man. Right now we're in Second Thessalonians chapter 3. We're in 2 Thessalonians chapter 3, man, and I'm gonna read the whole verse, man. It says, commandment to work. We were commanded to work. So the start of verse 3 says, finally, brethren, pray with us, that the word of the Lord may have free course and be glorified, even as it is with you, and that we may be delivered from unreasonable and wicked men, for all men have not faith. But the Lord is faithful, who shall establish you and keep you from evil. And we have confidence in the Lord touching you,
Completely forgot.
that ye both do and will do things with which we command you. And the Lord direct your hearts into the love of God, and into patient waiting for Christ. Patient waiting for Christ. Now we command you, brethren, in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, that ye withdraw yourself from every brother that walketh disorderly, and not after the traditions which he received of us. For yourselves know ye ought to follow us, for we behaved not ourselves disorderly among you. Neither did we eat any man's bread for naught, but wrought with labor and travail night and day, that we may not be chargeable to any of you, not because we have not power, but to make ourselves an example unto you to follow us. For even we were with you, this we command of you, that if any not work, neither shall he eat. If any not work, neither shall he eat. That's law. That's biblical. If you don't work, you don't eat. Let's finish the verse. For we hear that there is some that walk among you disorderly, working not at all, but are busybodies. Not them that are such we commanded and exhort by our Lord Jesus Christ, that with quietness they work, and they eat their own bread. But ye, brethren, be not weary in doing well, And if any man obey not our word by this apostle, note that man, and have no company with him, that he may be ashamed. Yet count him not as an enemy, but admonish him as a brother. Now the Lord of peace himself give you peace, always by all means. The Lord be with you all. The salutation of Paul with my own hand, which is a token of every apostle. So I write, the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ be with you all. Amen. The grace. The Lord has given us grace, man. You see that verse, how it says, remove yourself from men who move disorderly. I tell y'all on this channel, anybody who y'all not in the same type of timing, mentally, spiritually, y'all not moving in the same direction in terms of your life, trying to go this way, you got to remove those people. That's law. That's law. Because an unrighteous spirit, an unrighteous heart will bring you down, will bring confusion into your life. But I want to focus on the verse where it says,
wow,
you know, man who don't work, don't eat, man.
Plenty of thatch.
And to remove anybody who is living disorderly, you know. I had to remove some people who one out here working, bad influences, running the streets, looking for the easy way out. The Most High chastises those type of people. You have a small group of people that are lucky and they find loopholes within the society and they don't have to work the traditional way. But for the average person, you must work. That's life. That's a part of our punishment. That's a part of biting the apple of good and evil, right? That's the part of our nakedness being revealed, you know? In the Garden of Eden, they used to walk around naked, and it didn't, their minds weren't perverted. When they bit the apples, their minds became perverted. That's why nowadays everybody is so perverted. Everybody's head is in the gutter. Everything is so sexualized, even to the point of a kiss. You know, it used to be, you know, people used to give each other like a kiss on the cheek, a kiss on the kiss on the arm, a kiss on the wrist, a kiss on the forehead, a kiss on the forehead. You know, male or female. It's just a sign of respect, as a sign of greeting. Nowadays, if you see a male give you, like Magic Johnson and Isaiah Thomas back in the day, before their games, they would greet each other and give each other a kiss on the cheek. With how sexualized our brains are today, most people would be like, oh, that's some Diddy stuff right there. But in ancient times, that's how people greeted each other. You greeted each other with a hug and a kiss, right? But now, due to the darkness and the natural, you know, darkness in our heart, because man's thoughts is naturally wicked. You know what I'm saying? Majority of our thoughts is majority of the ways of humans. We're all tempted to do wrong. I'll just put it like that. I wouldn't say just our thoughts are wicked. I would just say we all fall to temptation, right?
Amen.
But the point I want to leave y'all with, I
Some
don't want
more
this video to be very long.
others.
Just a quick one. I know it's Sunday. Most people are going to be watching the games. I'm going to watch the game tonight. You know. But the point I want to leave y'all with, man, is we've been commanded to work. This is what we have to endure. There's no escaping it. And men who try to escape it, men who don't work but are busybodies, you know, we know them people on the block, no job, but they always in the mix. They always on the block. They always, you know what I'm saying, in the mix, in the circles. Busybodies, but not working. Always outside, always going somewhere, but not working. It tells you in the Bible to shame those men. You know? That's why a lot of men who saw me quit my job with no plan B, they shamed me. That was the Most High's way of shaming me for my behavior, you know? Because it is a shameful act for a man not to be working. Any man out here sitting around and you're not working at some sort of capacity, you're not working on your business, you're not working on your health, you're not working on your fitness, you're not working a job, you're not working on building your legacy. The purpose of a man is to work. That's law. That's our purpose, man. That's our purpose, man. That's our punishment. To be workers and to be builders. And the woman's punishment is to have to cleave on and to have to follow us.
No, actually, it's childbirth.
That's their punishment.
Right? Their punishment is childbirth, actually. It's childbirth, having to bear the child.
That's why we live in a time where there's so much discord between men and women, right? It tells us in the Bible it will be that way. There'll be a time where the natural affection between male and female is lost, and everything just becomes sexualized, right? Because that's one of the curses of biting that apple and the nakedness being revealed, right? Us being conscious of that. Right. But like I said, I don't want to make this video very long. I just felt like that would be a good scripture to bring out. For those of you who don't know, I went back to Amazon. I can't remember if I said that in the beginning or not. I went back to Amazon. Things are looking so far so good. You know, I talked to HR, told them to spill. You know, now I'm just waiting on my case to be approved. And, you know, I got some faith that it'll get approved, you know. I feel like if they was going to fire me, they would have did it already. So I think I'm going to be okay, you know. I haven't done really anything to get fired, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, man, that's just the video I wanted to leave with y'all today. My bad, I just got a text. It just threw my whole train of thought off. That's the video I wanted to leave y'all with today, man. You know, for everybody going through this struggle of having to work and not wanting to work, you know, learn from my experiences, man. Learn from my mistakes, you know. I'm gonna stand on everything I've said to this point. You know, I ain't gonna remove no videos or nothing like that. I stand on everything I've said, you know. And it's okay to be wrong sometimes. As long as you can be man enough to reflect and address your wrongs. And I was wrong for leaving that job with no plan B. And anybody who just abruptly leaves their job and they don't got no money saved up and they don't got another job lined up, it's not a good decision. Don't do it. If you at your job and you unhappy and you thinking about leaving, I'm going to tell you, you're going to be even more unhappy being broke. You're going to be even more unhappy in this economy with the inflation just continuing to rise, the groceries continue, everything continuing to rise.
Yeah.
You're going to be even more unhappy being broke. I don't know if y'all heard that, but excuse me if that picked up on the camera. My stomach has been on 10, not gonna lie. But that's the reality, bro. There's no escaping it. You know, there's no escaping working in this lifetime. You know, I feel like it's got to be something after all of this, you know, but in this lifetime, there's no escaping the work, man. There's no escaping the grind. That's just the way of life here, you know. And money doesn't buy happiness, but being broke ain't gonna make you no happier. I'll tell you that. Money does not buy happiness, but being broke won't make you no happier, you know. Money is a tool, man. Money is a tool. Money is needed. Money is useful. Money is valuable. So that makes working useful, and that makes working valuable, because working brings you money, you know. But I just want to bring this video out, man, you know, just to show y'all, you know, me reflecting, me being accountable, and just to address that I was wrong. You know, any video I made in the past and the things I said about work, you know, even though deep down I feel that way about work, deep down I feel like things should be different and this, that, and the third, but like the old saying goes, man, you complain and you stay the same, you know? You can either sit around and just complaining about the way things are, you know, or you can find ways to adapt. Now that's not to say, you know, you shouldn't vent about things sometimes or whatever. But, you know, because I feel like it's good to get things off of your chest sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Despite what people may tell you, I think it's good for your mental health to let things off of your mind. I feel like it was good for me mentally to let all of that off my mind, you know, because now I got answers to all the things that were troubling me for the most part. And the answer is, you just got to deal with it. You just got to put your head down, be strong, and handle that shit. You got to attack life, you know? So for everybody, if you got a job, hold on to that job. If you got a job and you don't like that job, look for a better job, and don't leave that job until you find a better job. But man, my stomach is, it has been turning since yesterday. I don't know what I ate or whatever, but I'm gonna have to get up off of here. But I pretty much got the message out that I wanted. I was wrong for leaving my job. Technically, I didn't quit. I never technically quit. So it's looking like things are going to be able to work itself out, you know. Hopefully. It's not solidified yet, but it's looking like it's going to work itself out. You know what I'm saying? And it seems like, you know, for the most part, they're happy to have me back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I haven't got no bad energy since going back. You know I said in one video, like, oh, if I go back, it's gonna be hell. They're gonna be doing this. They're gonna be doing that. It really hasn't been too bad since I've been back, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's really been love, you know, for the most part. And like I said, I'm not even, you know, there for that anyway. You know, I'm not there to be loved by people. If I get love while I'm there, that's great. But the point of a job is to work and get paid, bro. Bottom line. But, man, that's the video, man. Hopefully y'all gain something from it. I'll be back with more content.
Cool. I was worried he was going to lose his job. I was like, you're fucked. You just took off for a week. You just disappeared without reporting in for a week. Holy shit. You know, one time I was late. I was on a temporary assignment, temporary for Manpower up north in Michigan. Up there, Manpower is a big fucking deal. They are the temporary agency. And so I got a temporary job. I was going from the third shift or second shift to third shift or something like that. So it was real wonky hours. So when I got there like a few minutes late. I got there a few minutes late. And this is what these fucking people did. And these people are bastards. I was half asleep. I couldn't even think straight because of the change of hours, the shift change. It was really screwing me, but I did manage to get there. I managed to get there a few minutes late. They took me aside because it was my first day on a new temporary job. And this is what the manager told me. He said, if I can get here on time, you can get here on time. And then they terminated the relationship after 5 minutes late. Do you understand? And that's when I learned these people don't care. They don't fool around and have no conscience whatsoever. That's when I started realizing people are really shit. And their system is really shit. Because 5 minutes, even though it's the first day of my job, my new job, it's a temporary job, by the way. There's no reason for them to be that cruel. No reason at all. And they were. And then on top of that, Manpower wouldn't give me work for a few days. So they basically ignored me for a few days to punish me. That's how they do it. They punish you by just not getting you any work. Like they don't give you any temporary work the next day. It sucks. It just totally sucks. He's lucky if he gets to keep his fucking job. God damn. Lucky son of a bitch. He gets to keep his job. All right. And finally, the infamous Big Ward. Yeah.
Good afternoon, good afternoon, good
Where
afternoon.
are the masculine men? Ah,
I am back with another episode.
Big Ward.
Thank y'all for tuning in. I really, really appreciate it.
My favorite.
Today is still Sunday, September 8th, 2024. And this topic here, did I say thank y'all for tuning in? If not, thank y'all for tuning in. I can't forget that. So I can't take a chance of forgetting that. So thank y'all for tuning in, if I didn't already say that. If I did say it, I'm saying it again. So this one is based on this term I've been hearing lately called toxic masculinity and the rise of toxic masculinity, which really nowadays is just describing just an old school real man. An old school real masculine man, they call it toxic nowadays. Your toxic masculinity. A man that don't take no crap. A man that stands up for himself. A man that's solid. A man that's love women only. A man that has old school ways of a man, of how a man should be, how a man should carry himself, how a man should behave. They call it toxic masculinity nowadays. If you're not a pushover, if you're not the type of man to let people walk all over you, stand up for yourself, set boundaries, have standards, and you stand on it. You have morals, values. They call that toxic masculinity nowadays. Which I just call my grandpa, my granddad. The men that I grew up around, they would be considered toxic masculine men nowadays, toxic masculinity. The men that felt like a man's supposed to be the head of the household. The men that felt like a man should answer to a woman. He can discuss, listen to her opinion, talk to her. I ain't talking about he her boss. Get on somewhere. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about where the man was the leader. He led. He was in charge. That's toxic masculinity nowadays. So where did that come from? How did we get here? How did we get to a point to where it's wrong for a man to be a man? Being a man is wrong. We live in a time where men like Tim Walz, the vice presidential candidate, whatever, with Kamala Harris, they're looking at him like he's a man. He's a male. He's soft as wet cotton. That is not a masculine man. But hey, it is what it is. That's what's accepted nowadays. That's what a lot of women want nowadays. A man, he got a genitalia of a man, but he ain't got the heart of a man. A lot of women want a man that they can push around. A man that'll cater to them and bow down to them. A man that don't bow down and cater to a woman is toxic masculinity. Feminine men, in touch, in tune with their feminine side. Where did these men come from? How did it get like this? How did we get to this point? Well, I was reading a post from the channel Legion of Men, who is a way bigger channel than me, but he's reacted to some of my videos or what have you. At least one of them, what have you. And I'm grateful for that. He didn't make a hate video, so therefore I will shout him out. He didn't come at me with no hate. He reacted to my video, talked about me, what have you, in a way, just just no hateful stuff. So therefore, I don't mind saying your name. You come at me with some hate, I'm not mentioning you. I know what you're trying to do. This man was just making content. He didn't mean no harm to me. So therefore, I will offer the same respect and gratitude to that person for shouting me out, and I'm shouting them out. The name of the channel, Legion of Men, I think I got like 300,000-400,000 subscribers, way bigger than me, but still shouted me out. I appreciate that. But this post, so I got to get credit where credit is due where I got this post. I don't know where he got it from, but I'm telling you where I got it from. I got to get credit where credit is due. I didn't make this up, but I'm going to react to it. It said 43% of boys are raised by single mothers. 78% of teachers, you might well say 80%, round that up. We do round up where I come from. 80% of teachers are female. So almost 50% of boys have 100% feminine influence while at home. An 8 out of 10 chance of 100% influence at school. Toxic masculinity isn't the problem. The lack of masculinity is. See, the problem we're facing in the world right now, especially not just the world, not the world, because a lot of places still have masculine men. They're not having the problem that America's having. The problem in America right now is feminism-based, the demasculation of men, brought on by feminism. Feminism is the culprit. To where we don't have many masculine men anymore. No masculine men for the little boys to grow up looking at. No masculine men like I had growing up to be able to mold myself after, to look at how a man's supposed to be. People grow up and emulate what they see. Most people. You emulate and you mold your behavior based on what you see growing up, what they call your formative years. So if you grew up around a bunch of weak, soft, weak-kneed, limp-wrist men, it's a great possibility that that's what you're going to be. If you grew up around a bunch of emotional, in their feelings, I feel like this, I feel like that type of men, if that's what you grew up around, that's what you saw, whatever the cause of it, if that's what you saw, most likely that's what you're going to be. So forth and so on. And the young men growing up under you and seeing you being soft, masculine, I mean not soft, not masculine, but soft, effeminate, more in touch with your feminine side. Not saying you, like in the community, you can be a straight heterosexual man, just not masculine. There's this channel I used to follow. And this ain't nothing negative about him. I ain't saying this ain't no salt. This was just a good point I saw he made once when I used to watch his videos every day. I was a big fan until he started hating on me. Not gonna mention no name, nothing like that, and this ain't no salt on his channel. This was one of the videos where I agreed with him. I actually loved his point. So anybody that run throwing salt, this boy said something about it, it's not no negative. I actually liked the video. I loved his content till he started coming at me. I was watching this guy's channel before I had a channel. Influenced me, not about telling me to get one, but just was saying, you need to start it, y'all, the side hustle, start a YouTube channel. So I kind of why I started a channel. So I had nothing but love for this dude. But he's, in the community. I ain't got a problem with that. I ain't coming for nobody like Big Boy be coming for folks. No, I don't. No problem with nobody in the community. I've been a fan of this channel since the coronavirus. That's when I first saw him. I've been watching him since like 2020. Love this content. Never had nothing bad to say about it. Still don't got nothing bad to say about him. Even though he talking bad about me. I'm still not going to say nothing bad about him. I was a fan, and the only reason they watching now because you're talking bad. You know, so I ain't finna deal with that. Somebody I ain't got no problem with. So anyway, he's gay. And even he said, being a gay man, he still want a masculine man. He was like, where are all the masculine men? So you know you can still have gay masculine men. I didn't know that. I just learned that from him. Even though he was gay, I follow his channel because I don't have nothing against gay people. I love his content. I recently stopped watching and stopped unsubscribing once he started coming after me in a negative way. That's the only reason. So, even he said, where are all these feminine, because he's a gay man, but he don't like the feminine gay men. He's attracted to men. Men that act like men. You got gay men that are masculine. Just like you got gay women that are masculine. The studs. That's crazy, ain't it? You learn something new every day. So even gay men want a masculine man. So being masculine don't have nothing to do with your sexuality. It's a behavior. It's an attitude. It's a mentality. It's a mindset. To where even if you gay, you still a man. You got some gay men that are more masculine than a lot of straight men. You got straight men that's all women. They love women. But they feminine acting, emotional little bras. I deal with them in my emails every day. And before I block them on my channel, come in every day. Feminine men in their feelings because of something I said. I understand women coming at me emotional and feeling wise, but men, I had more men coming at me in their feelings than women. Emotional men. Toxic masculinity ain't the cause of that. The lack of masculinity is the cause of that. A bunch of men being raised by single mothers, and when you send them from home to school, most likely the teacher is a woman. So in a boy's nowadays formative years, his formative years are around women. A woman can't help but to exude her feminine energy onto that man because that's all she know how to do. Except for the stud, the masculine women, which is rare. Overall, women by nature are feminine. That's all they naturally know how to be, is feminine. Now these modern women, some different. You know, you got some masculine. We ain't talking about them. Exclude the masculine women. We ain't talking about them. Overall, the majority of women are feminine. Yes, you have masculine women. The majority of, just like you got feminine men, you got masculine women. The majority of women by nature are feminine. I don't care what you heard. The majority of women are feminine. So therefore, if as a little boy, all you grew up around in your formative years was femininity, even if you are a straight man, because I believe you got to be born gay, you can't be made gay. That's just my belief. You got to be born gay. So even if you born a straight man, if you raise around a bunch of feminine energy, you're going to still be a straight man, but you're going to be feminine. You're going to be emotional. Hence what we got now running around here, a bunch of soft, weak, straight men. They straight. Soft, weak, no fortitude, no problem solving. None of that. Feminine men that are straight. I'm talking straight men that are feminine. And that's where it come from. When I read that post that he put up there, I was like, that ain't nothing but the truth. Toxic masculinity ain't the problem. It's the lack of masculinity. We need masculine men in this world. Women are not supposed to lead. I don't care who don't like what I just said. I don't care. Facts are facts. Men are supposed to be the head. We are supposed to be the ones to go outside into the world, fight lions and tigers and bears, and provide, protect for our families. That's what men were designed to do. We've decided to do something different for whatever reason, and that's why the world is in the condition that it's in now, because of lack of masculine men, because of men relinquishing their roles to women. That's why we are where we at right now, especially in America. Men decide we're going to let women take our spot. We're going to give our role, our responsibilities to women. Now you got women out here providing, protecting themselves. Well, feminism did that big walk. No, we allowed it. I can't say this enough times. Feminism ain't do a damn thing that we ain't let it do. Women ain't take nothing. We gave it to them. They didn't have the physical might to take nothing from men. Men ran everything. Women didn't run shit. Go back to the Wild Wild West. Women didn't run nothing. Everything, whether a woman want to accept it or not, they want to talk about how strong they are, this, that, and the other. Everything that women are able to do now, men allow them to do it. I know that's going to sound chauvinist. It's facts. Everything that a woman's allowed to do today, all her freedoms, being able to get a job, the military, whatever a woman is able to do nowadays is because men allowed it. So fellas, if you don't like the way it is right now, the way that women are, the way they're acting, this, that, and the other, we allowed it. The buck stops at the top, shit rolls downhill. You gotta put the responsibility for the way things are on the leader. Who's in charge? That's who's responsible for the condition of whatever place you in. Whoever in charge. And in the world, men were in charge. So if the world is messed up, it's man's fault, not women. We want to blame women. That's a trait of a feminine man. A masculine man will blame himself for the condition of the world, knowing we dropped the ball. We dropped the ball on our families, kids, women, everything. We dropped the ball. Let me repeat that. Men dropped the ball on the women and the kids because we were the head. Now, big boy, I can't agree with you on this one, man. Feminism ain't did a damn thing. Everything that a woman has nowadays, every right that a woman has, every ability that a woman has, everything that a woman is allowed to do nowadays, men allow them to do it. Remember, we had all the guns, we had all the strength, we had everything. We were the fighters, the killers, we was all that. Women were not that. Women were at home with the kids, that's all they was doing at one time. Raising the family while we was out hunting, working, providing, bringing home the bacon. Women could not beat us physically. So therefore, they didn't take a damn thing. Everything they're doing, we allowed them to do. We gave in to their demands, even if their demands were wrong. We gave in to them for whatever reason. That's beyond my pay grade to try to understand why we did it. The fact is, we gave in, and now we're in the position that we're in now in the world. Because men gave up their roles as leader. lack of masculinity is the problem, not toxic masculinity. The fact that we don't have masculine men is the problem. And it still resorts back to us as men. We broke this, and we're going to have to fix it. Get it, got it, good. Bye.
Jesus. I freaking died and everything while this guy's giving the lecture. Anyway. Let's see. Got that. It's hilarious. What this world's come to. The way things are. It was never this complicated when I was a young man. And that's what a lot of the elders in my time would say. That it was never this complicated. And they were young. Almost done with that water pan. I just gotta put some more stuff down there. Should be able to do this. Alright, 49 walls. Alright, let's go. So it's a good sized pan. Look at this. Nice. It's a good sized water pan. Can't really complain, right? Alright, let's do this. Put you here. And another one there. And then we'll do this. See, that's what a lot of the guys are blaming. The guys, the macho men, they're saying the men are weak. Basically, they're just fucking weak. And that's what's really happened. That's what happened to this country. Bunch of weaklings making decisions. Only real men should be making. Alright. Alright, so that end's boarded up. Get this end over here. See, it's important, like if I have an animal like this megalodon was wounded last time, you want it to be able to stay outside so it can heal up. You don't want it to be without. Healing anyway. Do I need another foundation there? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think anything's going to squirt around all that area there. Most likely I'll have to do this. Try to finish that up at least. Yeah, the snapping's a lot better now in this game. Okay. I don't know what it is with this thing. It's supposed to be snapping properly. Why aren't you snapping properly? I don't know why it's not snapping properly. It should be snapping properly, but it doesn't want to. Oh no, it did. It did. Oh no, it didn't. It didn't. Shit. Anyway, so that's kind of weird. I don't know why that happened, but Nothing's going to get in now. Now all the cracks are sealed. We got a good seal there. Nothing's going to get in without my permission. Now, what you do when you have this water pen, you have to put foundations, usually maybe 2-3 foundations at a time, and you have to spot the bottom of it so that nothing manifests in here. As long as there's a foundation, nothing will manifest in here. Okay. So I'm going to put this in here just in case. I need more. What else here? I thought I saw some ceilings. Here's a ceiling. No, baby, stop doing that. No, baby, stop it. Uh-oh. I think the game froze. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Let me check something. Yeah, it froze. I crashed. Well, looks like I crashed, so come on. I hate it when this game does that. Shit. Well, I'm going to go ahead and just cut off the video and try to reset the machine because fucking game crashed again. Thanks for watching. Bye.